and welcome to the Slip Slipsis YouTube channel. I'm Jay.
I'm Gabz.
And this is episode 33, the second podcast of 2024. I'm choking on nothing.
We're doing a good intro.
Today is Sunday, January 28th. I am coming to you from a very sunny Los Angeles. It's supposed to be 78 degrees today. And Gabz is in the Bay Area where it's probably colder.
No, it's supposed to be 74, so
Oh,
not.
okay. We must be having a heat wave.
Yeah, I mean it's colder, but not really.
Well, I was on Zoom with Janelle, who's in DC, and she said they went from 11 to 80
Ooh,
within the week. So it was like
hello allergies. That's gonna be horrible.
extreme. So you can find all of our information down below. And if there's anything I've missed, as always, throw in a comment, email us, and I'm happy to send over that information. But we're just gonna jump right in, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to jump to FOs?
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else for designs.
Okay, I'll go first. Shenanigans, almost dropped my sock blocker. Because I have quite a few. So I feel like I have been extremely motivated. Oh, we also have to do our January stats. Don't forget that part. Lock it in. Pin it. Pin it. It's pinned.
I'm just focusing on remembering to say the giveaway winner. Like,
Okay,
let me get a post-it. I'm gonna write this down.
I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna pin it. We don't ever
something.
do show notes. So it's usually like we kind of get together like 30 seconds before we do this and kind of walk through what we're supposed to do. So I have been extremely motivated by Gabz's plan to stash down, and we've got our bingo going on, which you absolutely can still participate in. There's plenty of time to get your bingo board posted before the end of the month. I think it's also like quarterly as well. Gabz could probably explain it better, but I will at the end we'll show where we are at with our bingos. But I've been trying to like blitz through all my stuff because I at least wanted to break even on my stashing down. So I made these socks. I made both, but I only have one on the blocker. Aren't these hot?
That's bananas. Those are out of control, man.
These are so spicy. Like I am such a huge fan of how they came out and how like the flashing happened, because I think they're just so much that it like makes it fun. So this is Desert Panda Fiber Arts, and the colorway is Born This Way, and these are a DK vanilla sock that I did with an afterthought heel, which is now my new favorite thing to do.
Those are cute. I like those.
Thank you. I have the extras in a little basket for you.
That's gonna help my stash down. Thank you.
It's for your Battenberg, so it doesn't count.
Oh, my turn. Okay. I think this is a new finished object. If not, sorry, I'm showing it again. I finished my muscle burrow. I don't think it was done last time. It is, muscle burrows are all reversible. Mine's like different colors. So it goes like this. All right, I got nothing on what colors these are. This is a Rose City Yarn Crawl color that is by Earl Grey, Jay.
I actually think it's called Rose City Yarn Crawl, like 2022.
Oh, most excellent. And then all these stripes are from the Porter Wool Company advent calendar that Shaylee and I and Dad won. And then this main color on this other side is Rebel Woolworks' Dream colorway from when she was doing the GoFundMe. So I think it's nice. I really like the different colors. And Shay and I have had this discovery, which I'm sure everyone also, I feel like this year I'm like 2 years behind all the knitting trends, but that's okay. Scrappy muscle burrows are the way to go. Like it's so speedy because it's like self-striping yarn, right? Like just one more stripe. So I used my Addy Flexi Flips actually to start the circle, and it was great because I like Magic Loop anyway. So I used the Addy Flexi Flips to start with the cast on, and then I switched to circulars, and it was awesome. And I was like, oh, I should use the Addy Flexi Flips. So that was great. I used US ones because gauge. Yeah, but I had a great time. I finished it. It's a gift. And now I'm having a muscle burrow obsession, which I know everyone else had like 2 years ago. But
I think it comes in waves. And it's a great hat pattern. I think it's probably like if not already, like the most popular hat in
I
like
think there was like a New York Times article about it, like how this one hat is like taking the knitting world by storm.
absolutely like everyone's so into it, which with good reason. And we're in.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are another pair of socks, actually, my most recent FO that I finished. So these are actually my one of my own tests for my own pattern because I have been sitting on this pattern for a really long time, and it turns out I'm only motivated if the deadline is on me. Like I have to knit the thing to like get it to go. So, and I've also, Gabs has very much generously volunteered to also test my own pattern with me. It's a pretty simple pattern anyways. So it's just making sure there's like, I didn't miss a P for the purl or something like that. So, um,
Earl 2 yards.
I just didn't put the P at all. It was just blank. It was the one error that I found while testing these. So this is from actually from my DK mixed medley. But because I already did all the samples in the size that actually fits me, which is 40 stitches around, Gabs also had the brilliant observation that if I do the 56, I can just do it in fingering, and then that's going to fit me as well. So we have divided and conquered. So I did a twisted rib. This is the simple rib. And then I tested my directions. The heel itself works. It's just if I've written it correctly for the Eye of Partridge heel. And then I did the normal rounded toe. So for the next sample that I'll knit, I'll do the other option, which is the star toe. So hopefully this will bring the inspo to actually get this pattern out in 2024, except, I'm just waiting on my other tester to get it together, which also I think works better because I feel like I can nag my sister a lot more than like other people, because I mean, like you're definitely harder on your sister, or just like more real with your sister. Like, did you do this yet? You can't say that to somebody else.
I also don't get as offended. Like if a designer was like, dude, did you do it? I'd be really offended with Chair. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
I think
So
our
I
goal
think
is the end of I think it's the end of March. I think that's what I told Chaley I could realistically do. When we talk future goals, I think I also have a plan to, if she's really pushing me on the deadline, to knit one sock of each and then catch up, right? Because I only really have to test the pattern, like, you
it's
know?
really just making sure I didn't like literally miss words, because nothing in there. I actually have the samples right here. None of these patterns are particularly complicated. I think they just like look fancy, which is the whole point of the pattern, is if you want to spice that sucker up a little bit. So like this is the DK version of this. So it's fine. I'll get to it. We'll get to it. We're on it. But these are done. Sorry, the yarn for this, the main color is mint chocolate chip from Hypnotic Yarn, and the contrast is ash and bumble golden honey.
I like it.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Okay. My other finished object, which was the fastest hat of my life, was this that I made on my daughter's Centro knitting machine, which the vlog turned out to be way more popular than I thought it was going to be. And thank you for all your comments that the hat does look nice on me. I'm sure hats actually do look nice on me. They just look cuter on my sister. So, comparison is the thief of joy, but that's okay. So this is Universal Yarns light and long cotton. It's tweed and it fades. So it's really nice. I made it in like 15 minutes learning how to use my daughter's Centro knitting machine. And then I was like, I'm a genius. I can make a muscle burra. And then like 50 tutorials are like, so you crank it and you swoop both ends. And I'm like, well, I was like, well, for 15 minutes, I felt like I was a genius.
I'm so original.
But it's a great hat. Like it's comfy. It was a good stash buster. Lottie and I have made like 4 hats. This way, this pink one is mine. Lottie has one for herself. So I'm not counting it as my own finished object because Lottie did it mostly. I mean, I cast on for her, but I don't think that counts. And then she made one for her little friend, Hannah,
Mm.
which I obviously can't show you pictures of another person's kid, but it's cute. And she made another one that we had to rip one out because the yarn weights were different and it looked very phallic. So we didn't do that.
Did
But
she
it's all
not and ever finish the one for her sister?
we don't talk about those things, Jay.
Okay.
Um, which is it's been great for my stashing down, right? Because even if Lottie's doing the project, it's obviously still my yarn, so I'm still counting it as at a stash.
Like, here, honey, take what you want.
Yeah, I've got like 6 skeins reserved for her because they're all like, it says that the machine says you can use like different weights or whatever, but I found like worsted weight seems to be the easiest just for like a 4-year-old who isn't going to really like monitor tension super great. So it's all worsted weight.
Oh, great. I'll send her all my worsted weight.
You will not chili quick. You know, Dad's got hella.
Is
So
it me?
that's my other finished object. If you want to check out the vlog, you can. It's mostly me just cranking on a sock knitting machine at like 8 o'clock at night.
Hat knitting machine.
Ah, hat knitting. Oh my gosh. And her name is Nadine. Nadine, the hat knitting machine, because I have Geraldine, the sock knitting machine. Yes.
Fantastic. Speaking of socks, can
I was
you
so
act
shocked.
can you preface how I was swindled into the next thing that I have to show? They're little, remember?
Oh, so I have 2 daughters. My littlest Eleanor is 2. And before Eleanor was born, right before Eleanor was born, Shaylee made Eleanor a pair of pink socks, and they're so cute. And then Eleanor found them and she put them on her feet. And they do not fit her feet because they're newborn size socks, and Eleanor's 2. So, she shoves them on her feet anyway. And the girl is slipping and sliding all over the house with her sock because like the heel is like on her instep, right? So it's like all uneven and she's like she learned how to walk only a year ago, so like she's working on it, right? And then Lenny finally sits down and she goes, sad. And then Lottie goes over to Todd, like cheers. She's like, don't worry, Auntie Chaley will make you more. She will make more for you. And then I checked
So
with Bailey.
these are for Eleanor. But I got smarter, I think, with these. Also, like literally only your like spawn could get me to do magic loop because I have a strong aversion to magic loop. It is like my least favorite option for knitting. Um, if you love it, good for you. Gabs is one of those people who loves it. It's just not part
Yeah.
of my journey. But I thought I was like, oh, it's 40. I can get these on my 9-inch circs. No, I can't. So I really can't wait until they have bigger or wider trunkies so that I can actually do 9-inch circulars because then they can have as many socks as they want like after that, but it's the magic loop for me. But I got smarter because I decided to just make a tube for these and then send them to Gabz with the extra yarn, or you can just do whatever yarn if there's not enough, but it's like the tiniest heel in the world. So hopefully there is, to actually measure it on her foot to like make sure the heel works out. Cause I was kind of just guessing, based on, I used baby socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. And they say 40 stitches around for the like 9 to 12, but I feel like maybe my gauge is just bigger. I think it was a really tight gauge because it was like 30 over 4 inches.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's not me. So I decided 40, or we decided 40 would be fine.
Mhm.
So Lenny did pick yarn, and then I decided I didn't like the yarn she picked. So I chose something different. So hopefully she's just forgotten. But this is actually from Gabz. I don't remember who you said the dyer was, but I think it's Love Potion.
It's Back Porch Back Loop Yarn Company. I think it's Back Loop Yarn Company.
Fantastic. And then this is Loose Seal from Earl Grey Fabric Company. So I will be mailing these up for Gabrielle to with the rest of the yarn that I've now put aside for her. Um, and don't worry, Lottie is also going to get something, but that one's just a lot bigger. So it's taking me a lot more time, but you'll see that in whips. And I am pretty sure it's still me. So I had this grand idea earlier because I had scraps from my Suburban Stitcher, a very pink Christmas advent. And so I made granny squares out of that during Vlogmas. And then with those scraps, I wanted to make some socks. And actually, I should put them both on. So I thought I was going to use all 24 in each, and then I realized that that's going to be the longest socks in the whole world. So I decided to kind of split them, and I did fraternal twin socks. So they're using all of the stripes. A couple of them are used twice because it didn't quite work out for how many I needed to do an even split. And then I used Baby Bunny as the contrast, which is a colorway from Barnyard Knits. And so I have these socks, but then these socks use like 9 grams. So I still have hecka left over. So I'm like, I can't let Gabs have all the fun. So I'm going to make a hat. So I made myself a matching hat to go with my very, very pink socks. And so, but I also thought that I was going to use it all up. On just one side, and then the other side would be all gray. No, sir. It is a full striping thing because I think I did it too long. Like I did 7. I think I started doing with 7 rows, and then I thought those stripes were too big, so then I transitioned down to 6. So this is mostly 6 rows of the stripe with 3 rows of the gray. I did the adult medium on US 2s. For the socks, I believe I did 5 rows of the stripe with 2 rows of the gray for these. So these match, but I still didn't use all of my things. So I have decided to make myself, oopsie, an advent blanket. And you can see, oopsie,
I
oopsie.
like that bag.
Thank you. I got it from Rachel. No. Yeah, Rachel, Zebra Yarns. Anna of Zebra Yarns for our swap this winter. So you can see all the scraps are still in there. So I'm just going to make another blankie. I haven't decided which kind of crochet blanket will be, but if you remember, I also frogged my stocking. And so I am going to use the yarn that I got for the stocking to hold with those. And I'm going to add in other advents as I work through them because that's the goal for this year is to use up some of my advents. But then I had to order more. But since it's already in the project and already used for it in my mind, I'm not counting it as coming in.
My turn? Okay.
That's all the FOs, yeah?
No, my stool.
You said you had 2.
I said I had 3.
Lies.
I finished my Sophie's Universe stool. It's right here. It's really hard to showcase a stool, and then I made these little feet.
Those guys are funny. In your picture, I didn't really know what had happened to them. I truly thought that your child had put stickers on them.
So I really like this project. It's great. It's so cute, and I use it a lot, but man, I'm not doing this again. I don't think I'm making Sophie's Universe again. So it's the Sophie's Universe pattern. There is a stool modification by the designer Dedri Ace, and I used cotton 8. And I looked this up. It's by, I'm so sorry. People were snarking on this on Reddit about how it's not that hard to pronounce, but I'm like, I'm really struggling to make the sound with my mouth. So it's Shepjes, I think. It's not great. I'm not great with it. And then people are like, it's a microaggression to say you're sorry. I'm like, I can't help it. I don't know. And apparently there's 2 different ways to pronounce it. Like there's a German way and then a Scandinavian way. Yeah, it was a whole like Reddit snark thread. So names. But it's cotton 8. It was a kit. It is still a kit. You could purchase it. I found the stool on the side of the road and I painted it with leftover paint from my house. And I really like it. It's been used a lot. It's crochet decor. It's my first crochet decor of the year. And it is my last whip from before the pandemic. So every single one of my whips is from 2023, I'm pretty sure. Not
What
including.
other crochet decor have you done from not this year?
What do you mean?
You said this is my first crochet decor of this year. And I'm like,
It is
what,
the one of this year.
what other ones have you done in previous years?
I mean, sometimes yarn cozies, people classify them as decor.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
like I made a plant hanging like a million years ago for someone. So like that, I guess, is crochet. This one's like true decor though. I feel like this one's like I guess blankets could be decor depending on if you're a
Oh,
very like people, like Joanna Figueroa, who like puts her she themes her blankets for the
the season.
yeah, and like the Joanna Figueroa is a quilt designer. Shaylee and I both used to work for her. She's Fig Tree and Company. Um, and she's a beautiful aesthetic. It's really cute. It's like a cozy farmhouse aesthetic, which I don't have that aesthetic.
I guess I don't know, like blankets. Like what category is blankets? Are they just their own
Or
blanket?
it's just blankets, but yeah.
Blanket.
But I mean, in like when you shop on like Target or something, blankets are in decor or
That's
bedding, I
true.
guess.
This is like my question, is are pretzels a chip or a cracker?
I don't know. They're
Back to
delicious.
the knitting.
Delicious. Delicious is what they are. Um, I'm done with my FOs. What you
Me
got for
too.
I have more whips. I have more whips
Yes.
for you. Okay. So I have, we said four. Most of them are scrappity scraps. Um, I am continuing on my teeny tiny.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, but look at this, Shaylee. Look. Look,
It
look,
looks
look,
like
look.
a napkin.
But look at this. No ends. I won't call
Oh,
it.
wow.
It took freaking forever and it's so tiny, right? Because there's two ends per little tiny square. And I think it's like maybe like 7 inches by 7 inches or something.
Oh, Gabs,
So,
that's
but I
good.
love it so much. I love that it's like I started it on December 1st, and these are all the fingering yarns I've used since December 1st. So I like that I can see it. I'm not going to tell you all of the different yarns that are in it, but it is Knit Picks Stroll Glimmer, which is my new favorite like base blanket yarn. Um, that's the white, and then all of these are the advents that I've
Oh, that's
advents.
why you don't have enough stroll glimmer.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
And
this makes sense.
it's in my Jimmy Beans wool snappity snap, which I also totally love. And oh no, Chaley,
Oh no, Gabs.
my battery saver just turned on my computer.
Excellent.
I'll go get it while it's your turn to talk. And the pattern is Granny Advent Squares, I think. It's a free pattern on Ravelry that I found via Nitty Natty's huge Advent bundle roundup thingy. So I like it. It's awesome. It's gonna take me forever, but that's okay.
Okay, you should go get your charger.
Yeah.
I'll yammer on about
Bam.
my next thing. So the next thing I'll show, this is in a bag that Gabs made me for Sock Week, which is something that is hosted also by Nitty Natty. But in it, I have the gift for Lottie. She didn't want socks. I guess what she really wanted was mitts, but I decided that doing the toddler thumb on those things was going to be much too painful for me because also those would also have to be on magic loop and that's just not part of my journey. So we compromise and are going to make her her own muscle burr hat, even though she's now a hat queen with her Centro machine. Again, I feel like you can never have enough hats, right? So this is what I am making for her. It is DK weight, but I also am getting bored with it. Just doing the plain knitting. So I told Gabs and I talked about adding in stripes and I found yarn that I think will be cool. It's actually a sock reel that Gabs got me this year as part of our Christmas Eve box. You can see her little head peeked back in, so she's back. It's in my living room, but because it's not added in yet, because I'm going to do a little bit more, probably plain knitting on this because I am going to the movies today. So I'll bring this with me. But the yarn that I'm using for this, the main, is Frosted Fox by Hypnotic Yarn. So it's going well. I'm doing the child/adult small, and I'm still doing US 2s for it.
There was a charger on my desk the entire time. Daniel had set it up for me already. But don't worry, I got a second one in case this one fails.
Hey.
You talking about your muscle burra for Lottie?
Yes.
It's nice. She really likes it.
Yes. And I decided to use the sock reel that you gave me.
Oh, okie dokes.
Because I
Oh,
think it'll be fun. And also because the sock reel's it is like a tonal. I feel like mixing it with this will make it spicy for me.
I agree. And you can use it for your bingo.
Yes, that's also why I wanted to use it because I didn't know what this one would qualify for.
Bingo. You're
No, if I didn't use it.
Oh yeah. All right. I am working on my Juicy Couture yarn. I love it so much. Okay. So it is stuck. It's a little bedraggled, but it's Juicy Couture, Luxe Velour, 107 yards for 100 grams. And my color is super greens. And it was originally supposed to be a different sweater, but that didn't pan out. So I frogged it. So this would count as the frogged yarn for
Mm.
projects. And this is how far I've gotten on it. It's awesome. It's so soft. Um, don't worry, I'm gonna show you what it does. It's a sleeve.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to, because Shaylee was right. She was like, that's gonna be way too warm. And I'm like, you're right, if it was a whole thing. So it's gonna be like a shrug situation. And it's so cozy and warm, and I love it. Except now I have too much. I have 4 balls, and this is only ball 1, and I'm almost done with the sleeve. So I think I might have 1 or 2 extras, and then I'm going to hopefully convince Joann's to let me swap it for another color of it because I want to make myself a hot pink Juicy Couture bathrobe. And because I was inspired by one of a Kate who has a knitted bathrobe, but I want to do a crocheted bathrobe and like the waffle texture, like a waffle robe. And the reason I don't want to do it knit is 1, I hate purling, so I don't want to knit flat. But 2, knit stitches, when there's more weight on them, they'll pull apart, right? Just like this, right? So when the weight of the robe, it's going to get longer and longer and stretch out my knitting, and I don't want that. So I'm going to crochet it, not this way on my body, but this way. So it
Mm.
won't stretch as much because crochet doesn't have as much give as knitting does. Um, so I can make myself a hot pink Juicy Couture bathrobe. So I'm going to try and convince Joanne to let me swap it.
You have the receipt?
Can't find it.
Nice.
Because
Did
if
you
I'm
use your app?
maybe.
It's in the app. If they scanned it, when you checked out, then it should your past things will live in your app.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll take a look on it. So that's my plan, but I have to finish this green thing before I determine how much I have left over, right? So you can't
For
return.
tradesies.
Right. So
I bet
that's
you
what
could make a hat.
I might, and I also might make a sweater for Eleanor because it's really nice and cozy. And my kid's turning blonde, so I think like the green's gonna really stand out. I know she's blonde. She was next to Jean. Jean's my mother-in-law, who's blonde. I was like, oh my God, your hair's the same color. This is stressful. So
Wow.
yes, it's really nice. People were hating on the yarn. I saw a couple people on Instagram who are like, "Ah, why do we need this?" Because it's awesome.
I
Because
always wanted a Juicy Couture tracksuit.
me too. Granted, it's no different than any of the other like plushy crushed velvet yarns. Like it doesn't feel any different, but
It's the principle.
Shaylee and I always wanted Juicy Couture things.
They keep not having my size at Sam's,
I
and
know.
I'm upset.
That's because I think everyone else wanted them too, because I'm a medium. I think you're a medium too. Mediums.
Well, I was gonna, because they sell them separate, which is actually really helpful. Like you can get the
Oh,
jacket and you can get the pants. So I was gonna do small pants and then medium jacket. Because the pants, at least for these tracksuits that they have at Sam's Club, don't have a drawstring. So I like wanted it to like not fall off of me.
those are hard. I feel like sweats should always have a drawstring
I agree.
because there's not as much variation with the sizes in sweats, right? There's like
Or any kind of lounge wear.
No, because most of the time, realistically, I'm a medium. Like I'm in
Right.
between small and medium, and I just go up to a medium.
Right now I'm wearing men's joggers. So,
I like it.
because the men's section at Costco is litty lit. Okay, I'm furiously working on my next whip because I have set the challenge for myself to finish this, hopefully by the end of the day today. I will lose time with my movie because I'm not bringing this whole thing to
You're
the
not gonna
movie.
crochet in the movie?
I just feel like it would get yucky, because like movie theaters, like
Yeah.
I know they work hard to like make it clean and all those things, but it's still the movie theater. So this is
Popcorn.
our granny chevron
Mhm.
magic knot ball blanket that we've been working on together. So we each made each other our magic knot balls and we're holding it with, you've guessed it, stroll glimmer. And so this is mine.
That's a lot more brightly colored than I thought it was gonna be.
So I feel like I should like, I don't know if I can back up far enough um for this, but I am on my last ball of it. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks good, Shay. Whoa, you're
Thank
far. I'm not
you.
nearly that far.
So it's, I feel like I'm 5'3". So I feel like it's doing pretty good to be
Yeah.
like a nice, it's not obviously not like gonna cover my whole bed or anything. But I think it's good. So I've used I'm on my fifth skein or ball of the Stroll Glimmer, which have 100 grams plus some change each. And then look at my little ball.
Oh,
It's so little and you can like squish it. So I ideally would love to finish this today if I can. I did finish all 100 grams yesterday, so I feel like I could do it. And I didn't start doing that until later because I finished my socks in the afternoon. So it feels doable. If not, I am working from home tomorrow, so that cuts out a lot of my fantastic like commute time that can be made up with crocheting. So I am exclusively, except for when I go to movies, working on this to see how fast I can finish it because I obviously now have 16 other crochet blankets that I want to start because we are in our crochet blanket era.
yeah. Nitty Natty was in it last year, so here we come. I have mine too. I'm not nearly as far along as my sister is. She's a faster crocheter than I am.
I don't know how.
I don't know. I taught her how to crochet.
Also taught me how to knit.
Also taught her how to sew.
Yeah,
I
but
did
I'm not really that good at that one. So,
did not teach her how to be sassy though. She did that all on her own.
right. Yeah, that's not learned trait at all.
All right. So here's my knot ball. It's much bigger than Shaylee's. I'm in my hypnotic yarnable era.
Hmm.
That's what all this is. You actually can't even see the next yarn that isn't hypnotic yarnable. So I'm in June of Chaley's projects because we're going in the year in reverse when we put them in. So I'm about halfway. So I'm thinking that's not too bad considering it's only been a month. And I'm kind of a slower crocheter. And I only do 2 colors per day because I was trying to finish all my other stuff. Um, but it's coming out nice.
Oh, that looks great.
Like, see, mine's not nearly as long because this is the end. Like, I can still hold it up. So it's about halfway. I'm excited to be back in this neon rainbow section, which was Chaley in the summertime. This was Chaley in the fall. She like seasonally did it. She was kind of like traveling and hectic and like it was kind of a dark and moody time. So
I don't
and
even know
then
what I made in the spring though.
this was Chaley in the wintertime, which should be darker, but it's all this like more vibrant color. So you can definitely see like the transitions in how
She
things were
was in a
going.
mood, apparently.
Yeah, like to start a year. And I was like, what's going on? But then I looked, I think it wasn't even like she was angry. It was just like a fall mood. Like there was a lot of oranges um and some of the variegates, like if you don't hold them double, they look very different, but held double, the variegates look kind of similar because I had similar colors in them. So that's what we're doing. We're both obsessed with our blankets, obviously, because Charlie's gonna finish hers in a month. Um, so we started magic knot balls for each other again.
I've got
Mine
nothing.
mine has 3 colors in it. Um, yeah. and I'm excited to make them again because I really do enjoy like looking through like, oh, what was Shaylee making? What was, plus then I get to use yarn. Like I get to use yarn that I wouldn't, that's not mine, but it's not added to my stash. So yes, which is
I've
why,
gotten some that's like, this is when I gave this to Gabs after I had finished the project, and then she made her thing, and now it's back in my blankie.
yeah. So I enjoy it. It's really fun. It was a little bit unwieldy when it was so large, but I
I think
think,
are we still committing to a big one?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Another big bad boy.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
Big
not so
boy.
tense though this time, Shay.
I was trying to no, because it wasn't easy when you had your loose ones either, because it would catch and it would slide off the ball, so then the whole thing would come off.
Maybe we have to split it. Maybe we do 250 and 250.
Okay, fine.
But the big one is better. It's more exciting. You feel more accomplished when you do 250. You do the big one. So
It's also funnier.
it's also fun. It's oh, and I have one more whip, right? Because it's still me.
It's still you.
All right, I have updated my cozy memories blanket.
Excellent.
It's going pretty great. Here we go. I don't think you've seen it for a while. Um, this is what I've put in it from this month so far. This is something about Tiger Lily, maybe from
Uh-huh.
Shaylee.
Uh-huh.
And then this is Explorer Knits. So I'm in this Explorer Knits zone. Um, and I'm working on it. And I'm realizing, I don't know why, but the knit blanket is taking so much longer than I'm committed to this one because I need to do 15 rows and I've already done 19 or not 19. I've done 9. So I'm more than halfway done, right? So I'm going to commit to it, but I don't think I'm going to do it again. I think crochet blankets are the move. They're faster. Yeah.
I don't mind flipping the blanket when I crochet. I don't like flipping anything when I knit.
Me either. Except I'm doing this blank, which I think I don't mind flipping this one because it's so small, right? Because you can kind of just wrench the thing. You don't actually have to fully flip the garment. So I'm just twisting it when I do it.
Yeah, I just I really like the look of the like jelly roll that the crazy sock
I'm
lady's
not gonna
making,
do
but
that.
I'm not gonna do that because I don't like picking up the stitches.
As you knit,
And
no. I was like, I'm not
uh,
doing that. Those are all my whips. What about you, Che?
that's it. I'm done.
Acquisitions?
How many?
I do.
Haha.
Okay. Um, Let me get my acquisitions. Here I go. Okay. I have technically 5, and you're like, aren't you supposed to not be buying any yarn Gabs? Yes, yes, I am. But there are new rules to the no buy yarn challenge. It doesn't count as buying yarn if it's a gift for someone else. I'm not buying yarn, I'm buying gifts. See? Okay. So my coworker really liked my Tecumseh sweater by Caitlin Hunter, but I didn't have the yarn for it. So I bought this from Joanne when they were having their Yarnormous sale to be the base of her Tecumseh sweater. It is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo um, in their Aran Fleck. And there are 482 yards, which I think will be fine because Suki is very petite. So I'm making her the size 1 of it. So I think it'll be fine. And then I got yarn from Dad for the other 2 colors. And
Nice.
then, okay, so I've been watching on YouTube a lot about these granny all-in-one squares. And most YouTube reviews I've seen are like, it seems like a perpetual game of yarn chicken. Like, this seems so stressful, which is true and valid. But that sounds awesome. Because I love yarn chicken. I love that like thrill. Like, are we gonna make it? Is it gonna happen? Like I like the unknown variable. Probably why I'm a theater teacher, right? Because it's different every single night of the performance. It's not the same. So I got this, and it is the soft white pink punch.
Ooh.
This is also Red Heart. They were having a sale. Um, And I'm really excited. I also don't mind if it doesn't line up perfectly. I think those are the things you have to go in accepting
Mhm.
that it's going to be yarn chicken a little bit and it's probably not going to be perfect. But I'm okay with that because I don't like weaving in ends. So I would rather deal with imperfection than the ends. So, but if you want perfection, you have to weave in the like this isn't going to be perfect. Even self-striping yarn isn't perfect, right? Like you
Mhm.
don't get a perfect clean, like if it's supposed to be every 6 rows, it's not perfectly clean 6 6 6. Sometimes it's like 5.5, 5 and 3, you know?
Yeah,
So not hating on the other YouTubers, but I think you have to,
it's a mindset.
yeah, I think you have to have a mindset and have a little grace with it. And you only really spent $6 on it. So sometimes you get what you pay for a little bit, right? Like this was $6. So, and it's cheaper than me having to buy all 5 of these
5 different
colors,
colors.
right? Because
Yeah.
even if Red Heart Super Saver is 5 color, like the same $6, it's $30, not six, right? So this is going to be a crochet granny scare cardigan for Lottie, my oldest. This tells me that I get 14 granny squares out of it. I think that'll be enough, but if not, I'll go buy more yarn. I also bought 3 skeins of yarn from the thrift store that I can't show you in white so I can fill it in because they were $3 for like these jumbo skeins of yarn because I was shopping for the musical. But I chucked them in my freezer so that I could kill any moths. So I can't show you. They're in their freezer cycle right now. I know acrylic doesn't usually have moths, but I didn't want to introduce moths to my entire wool stash. So I chucked them in there just in case because I'm not ready to knit with it anyway. That's it. Those are my acquisitions. So I've acquired 6, technically 6 games this month.
Okay. So we're doing stats.
Let's do our stats, Che.
Okay. As of right now, which probably is going to track that I'm not going to finish anymore because I didn't count any of the magic knot balls as skeins. Um, I broke even for the month. So I had 4 come in and I took 4 out. So I'm even, which is good. I thought I was gonna be like +1 or 2. But I have finished 10 things this month.
Let me get my thingamajiggy.
Okay. I got this notebook from Amazon.
Okay. I finished 7 projects this month. 2 blankets, a stool, a vest, 2 hats, and a pair of socks. I know I haven't shown you the pair of socks. They're a design that are a secret. Shaylee's seen them, but I can't show you guys. So I've done 7 things, which I think is pretty good because 2 of them were blankets. And I have 6 skeins came in this month and 20 went out. So I'm at -14, but the month isn't over. So I'm going to keep tracking it until the 30th.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be done with like 5 more skeins because I track mini skeins. So my goal was to do 30 this month. I'm at 20.
That's not bad.
Can I do 10 more in 2 days? I probably can do 5 because they're mini skeins, right? I'm finishing up mini skeins. Like one of them, it's going in my cozy memories blanket. And this is how much I have left of it.
Oh yeah.
So like it's gonna be 21, right? Like I'm gonna
Right.
finish that today. And I've got the Juicy Couture yarn, which is like the 100 grams is only 100 yards.
Right.
So we're doing pretty good. My goal was to make over 100 items in 2024.
Me too.
Solid. We're at a solid. I'm at 7.
I mean, I'm at 10, but
Yeah.
that doesn't include this, which I'm sure will be done, if not today, before February 1st.
Yeah, mine were bigger. Most of mine were bigger objects this month too. So I'm feeling like 7's all right.
Right.
If I do 7 every month, that puts me at like 84. But I feel like some months are going to be faster
Right.
than others. So we did stats. Let's do the giveaway.
Yeah.
So,
And then I actually have something I could give away as well.
okay, so I'm going to announce our winner. Chaley is going to announce the next giveaway. So the winner for the purple skein of yarn from Knit Picks for that I use for the Cecilia pattern is, okay, here goes. I apologize in advance for this, and I do not intend this to be a microaggression, but I could not Google how to pronounce this. Oh, I lost it. Janessa, Janice Oakhurst. So this is at Janessa Oakhurst 9883. And please contact us. But I loved your comment that you have a whip from like 1977. That's awesome. I hope you finish your whip. And I can't believe it. She's got an intarsia plaid sweater with an embroidered yoke. That feels, I'm like, that is ambitious.
That's
And
varsity.
also awesome. Please share a picture with us when you see it. I'm like, that is
That's absolute varsity.
yeah, that's awesome. So good luck with that. That's awesome. I don't even know what that looks like in my head. Like I know what intarsia is. I know what embroidered yolks are, but I'm like, what does that look like? It's probably gonna be so cool. So email us for to send your address and we will get that out to you. So thank you for everyone who commented what your favorite classes were. I loved seeing all those classes. Yeah, I thought it was great. My students are picking classes right now and they're like, what should I take? And I love helping them choose because I like that. Maybe it's that new project vibe, that new school year full of possibilities. I gotta sell it that they were excited about taking some classes because they're not always excited about taking some classes.
That's true.
Taking math analysis is kind of a hard sell for the majority of students.
That's true.
I have budding mathematicians, but like the majority of us are not super stoked to take math analysis. All right, what you got for your giveaway, Chai?
Okay, so I've been actually holding on to this one for a while. We had the pleasure of getting some yarn support from Knit Picks for one of our patterns, and these were from my gridlock socks, and I didn't use all of it. So I have an extra of this wonderful Hawthorn fingering. It's the Peach Melba Speckle. It is 357 yards, 100 grams. That I would be excited to give away to someone so that you can use this gorgeous yarn. It is giving, I feel like, a little bit more spring. So this sunny LA weather is going for it. So the question that I would love for you to answer, okay, it was used for the gridlock socks. I'm like, what's your favorite mode of transportation? That's so boring.
I like to unicycle while carrying my pet flamingo.
Right. I don't know. What do you think?
Gridlocks. Your favorite thing to listen to in the car?
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Favorite thing to listen to in the car, or what you're listening to now in the car as well. So for me, I'm currently on a true crime kick. So I'm listening to the podcast Solved Murders, because you know I like a happy ending. Because you get to find out who did it, and they're not like it's the unsolved one that's like that scares me,
That's
right?
terrifying.
Like that's terrifying. So I am currently listening to Solved Murders as my podcast while I drive or run for, inspiration to run faster.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying too.
What do you listen to in the car, Gabs?
Oh, let's transition to books and movies. Um, I am listening to Knit to be Tied by Maggie Sefton. It is I'm hosting a book club where we're reading all of the Maggie Sefton books. Um, it's a slog, y'all. Like, I was into them. We've been doing this for a year. Maggie Sefton is problematic in
Oof.
terms of like some of her views on things and just the way she portrays characters. However, we have committed to finishing them. So this is not like I'm going to read it because Gabs is reading. It's not strongly recommended. If I had to rate this book, it would be probably a 2 out of 5, especially this one. It's a murder mystery. It's a knitting mystery. And I'm really struggling to get through it, but we've got the book club, so we chat about it. But she has some problematic views about like food and dieting and body shape, which we're not here for. So I'm checking the books out from the library, and she also has some decently unrealistic characters. However, I have read some other knitting books, and she at least puts a lot of knitting in the knitting mystery. Like Penny Reed's books are allegedly knitting related, but they're really not. They're really romance themed, and there's like 3 sentences on knitting. And I know there's big Penny Reed fans out there, and her books, if you read them as romances, are great, but they're not knitting. Like they're called Knitting in the City series, and it's not really a thing with knitting. I also was in the middle of reading A Stash of One's Own by shoot, I don't remember, Clara something. Um, so I was reading that. It was okay. It was about stash, like your knitting stash and like people's thoughts about stash and all of that. I stopped reading it because one of the essays dealt here's the content warning. There's death involved. One of the people talking about stash, she was writing about her own personal experience and how she helped one of her really good friends through the death of her son and how knitting played into that. Um, the young man who died was a boy who I dated in high school. So I was reading along, thinking I was reading about stash, and got hit with a ton of bricks when I saw the boy's name. We broke up. We were friends. It was fine. It wasn't like a horrible break. We just lived in different cities, right? And it didn't work out. His name is Sergio Clor He passed away about 8 years ago now, in a car accident. So it was a tricky one because I was like not ready for it, right? Like if I knew I was reading about it, that would be one thing, but it wasn't just a name in a book, right? It wasn't a character. It's a person, right? So she was very respectful in the essay. It was just personally, I was like, what? And I was in the doctor's waiting room. So I was like,
Jesus.
oh my gosh, right? Because I thought I was reading about people being like, I have a lot of stash. This is how I stash down. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, their comments on stash weren't also my favorite either. So that was like a 3 out of 5. And I'm also reading a book called Post Traumatic Quest by
You're
Danny
really
Sanchez.
bringing on the heavy stuff,
Yeah,
Gabs.
I know. This one is about the East Side where I teach, and it's about my students. Like similar students' experience it's a memoir of his life in the East Side and some of his experiences growing up, his experience with the juvenile justice system, also heavy, but also a really great insight into my students' lives. This book I actually would recommend with the content warnings, of course, but this one I actually think is interesting and compelling. And he self-published it. And he's on our campus. Like I know this man, he volunteers and works with our students daily. So that's someone I'd want to support, right?
Mhm.
So those are my serious books.
Yeah,
What you reading, Jay?
I'm reading applications right now is what I'm reading. If for any new folks, I work in college admission, so it is application reading time. And when you're reading that many things a day, I really don't have the brain space to read more things later because I also have to read it all on my computer. So my eyes get really tired. And so like with stuff like this, like I don't know about you, but like my eyeballs kind of like are looking, but they're not really like focusing or like intently processing. Um, so I haven't really read anything in a very long time. That's okay with me. My sister's definitely more of an avid reader than I am, but I watch a lot of TV because I also like to have background noise. So I am clearly on a crime kick right now because I am rewatching Criminal Minds.
Excellent. I am also rewatching Burn Notice.
Mm,
Because I have to say, the early 2000s were amazing for USA Network. I liked Burn Notice, I liked White Collar, I liked Psych, I liked
Monk.
Monk, I liked all of those USA things. But oh, we should talk about what we're watching for YouTubers so we can hype up other YouTubers as well.
I have mostly been watching Crazy Sock Lady and then Gary Knits Gary Rides.
Oh yeah, I love me some Gary Rice. He's got a very soothing voice. I listen to him when I exercise. I've been catching up on one of a Kate's Vlogmases.
Mm.
So I've been enjoying those. I get inspired by what she makes. I also found Passionate Kelsey, but passionate is spelled Passio and then knit, Knit, Kelsey. She has like 1 million subscribers. maybe 500,000. But I like watching her stuff, mostly crochet. It's really exciting. And I've also been watching Mima makes as well. Those are kind of larger content creators, but they have tutorials, which I think is how, which honestly, I think that's how like the larger people, the over 100,000 are tutorials, right? Because then you like keep rewatching the video because you got to figure out how to make the thing. So they're great. They're fun to watch. They sell things as well. They sell their objects, I believe. So those are our YouTubers.
And I have been kind of scrolling through the D-Stash for Good that is currently going on, that Gary hosts as well. So there's absolutely time to check that out. It's a D-Stash, the number 4, and then Good on Instagram. It is a charity auction, which is super cool. Gary's also done some really cool content on like all the things that goes into it. So like not only
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. So like because Gary is just such a fabulous human that I'm like, in addition to like wanting to support the cause, I also want to support Gary.
Yes.
So also we're like neighbors. So I feel like I gotta support.
That's also sometimes I look at the things and I was like, if I buy this one, I probably don't have to pay shipping because I can probably swindle my sister into getting it for me.
Yeah, I can go pick that up for you.
If I get my act together, I may do a shop with me or bid with me on D-Stash for Good if I get it together tomorrow. And do like a little vlog so you can see there's over 60 items that have no bids on them. So truly go check it out. And
Okay.
also you can outbid us. We won't be mad.
It's
We really
totally
won't.
fine.
Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I found this from no, just outbid us. Absolutely do that.
Please do. It's fine.
Yep. Travel plans.
Oh yeah, thanks for writing that down.
I
Um,
got you.
so we have quite a bit of travel coming up. A lot of mine coming up are for work. So if you're interested in seeing that, there may not be as much knitting, but still will be some along the way. But you're interested in seeing my travel, I'm happy to vlog along the way. So in March, I will be in New York for work. And then in April, I will be in Hawaii for work as well, with in between there a trip home for Easter, because Easter is a bit earlier this year. So I'll come home for that over the long weekend. And then let me think. Again in May, I will be home this time for work. And then at the end of May, I will go to Seattle for a conference. And then the week after that, Gabs and I have our retreat in Reno. Woo, woo. And then mom and dad come here. And then after that, I believe we're going to Hawaii again. We'll be in Kauai for that one.
That
And
feels like enough of what we're doing until
I feel like I have another trip planned.
you do. You have the girls' trip with
I do. We're also not, we changed our mind on that. I'll tell you about that later. Oh my God, I forgot. I have a staycation coming at the end of February. I will definitely vlog that because that was like, Chaylee didn't really tell anyone other than her family that she's doing this. So that I can like literally just sit in this beautiful Orange County hotel and just do my crafts. So I will vlog the Chaycation staycation.
All right, so we've got some upcoming videos as well. I don't travel as much as my sister does. My next big travel, well, it's for a wedding in May, but I'm not vlogging that because we're only there for a day. So my vlogging, videoing plans are cast on for Black History Month, which is February 1st. The Black Knitter is, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. Um, she's hosting a make along. So check her out. She's Black Knitter on YouTube and on Instagram. She's hosting a make along. So I'm going to knit a sweater by Hello Gabriella on Ravelry. It's going to be awesome. And then Chaylee and I and Dad are doing the Knit for Food knit-a-thon at the end of March. I'm going to give a shot at the Bay Area Yarn Crawl. We'll see. I don't think I'll make all the stores. It's too far. And it's the week after the musical closes. So I don't really want to be in the car doing a bunch of stuff. And I think that's it. So far, we've got some challenges popped in. You can always challenge me to do things, and I'll probably do them. I mean, my students do it all the time. They're like, Miss Koizumi, can you do 50 burpees? And I'm like, okay, let's try. I can't do 50 burpees. But I think that's all we've got Plan podcasts, vlogs. Nothing. I mean, Chaylee's working and reading, traveling a little bit. Gabs is putting up the musical. I did get this new Fitbit, which kind of tracks my knitting because I rotate my wrist. So somehow I got like 300 steps on the couch.
It counts.
Okay. But I also don't put it on until after I shower, and I work out before I shower. So I think I'm feeling like it's a balance out. Like I did a 45-minute workout today and it did not have this buddy on.
I feel silly.
Daniel's like, did you put it on? I'm like, I went on my run without this thing
Excellent.
yesterday. I'm like, kind of defeating the purpose here.
Thank you so much for watching with us. I thought we would have a short one. No, we didn't, but don't forget to enter into the giveaway. And if you are our giveaway winner, please do email us and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.